David, what exactly does this evacuation operation look like? Who's being repatriated? And what are going to be the major challenges here?
Well, the evacuation is underway. We heard yesterday about those 3,000 additional US troops going in to harden security around the embassy and airport and evacuate certainly US embassy staff. They'll be the priority, and really that will draw down to just a skeleton staff there. But there's also obviously now intense pressure on the effort to get Afghans out of the country, in particular those who worked as interpreters with the US military, and then also Afghans who work with US media or aid organizations, Afghan journalists in some cases. And there are grave concerns about whether that can now happen on time. About 1,200 Afghans have been taken out of the country so far, but it's thought up to 20,000 may be applying. And time is running out. Those outside Kabul are really going to struggle to get to Kabul themselves. And otherwise, the Americans are trying to speed up some of the very bureaucratic paperwork that goes with this process. But certainly there's said to be real panic and fear on the ground in Kabul about how long this process is going to take and whether at least some of these Afghans who worked with the US military and other organizations will be left to the mercy of the Taliban.
And the Taliban is, of course, advancing faster than anyone expected. Joe Biden coming in for some very harsh criticism, especially in the press, for his decision to withdraw US troops from the country.
There's certainly growing criticism now, and some of the front pages in America on Friday were saying things like Biden's Saigon, drawing that comparison with the end of the Vietnam War in 1975, when, of course, there were those chaotic scenes of people departing the US embassy by helicopter from the roof. Just last month, Biden assured the American public there would be no repeat of that. But the parallels are starting to get uncomfortable. The political reaction in the US to this is complicated. Most Democrats support Biden's view. The Republican Party is somewhat split. There are certainly more traditional military hawks who are being sharply critical. Mitch McConnell, the Republican Senate Minority Leader, says Biden is leading America into a disaster that will reverberate around the world. But of course, former President Donald Trump himself wanted to withdraw from Afghanistan. So for him and his loyalists, it's somewhat harder to critique Biden here. And perhaps the bottom line that certainly the White House is betting on is that opinion polls show strong support for this policy of withdrawal. Even though some of the television images might be quite harrowing and the human suffering difficult to take, the American public, I think in some cases, appear not to actually care that much about what's going on in Afghanistan, or many who do care really believe that after 20 years, America's longest war does have to come to an end. And so there does not appear to be huge political danger for Joe Biden, at least at the moment.
David Smith, Washington